a credible voter register. Without a credible voter register, you can have credible elections. When last in Nigeria did any electoral commission conduct voter registration on a continuous basis? It's there in the Electoral Act. In the past, we conducted voter registration intermittently on the eve of major elections for a specific period of time, and then the voter register was compiled for that purpose. In fact, in previous elections until 2011, there was a new voter register with every general election. In fact, there was a year in the early 90s where we registered twice before the conclusion of the general election, which was later annulled. But now, in 2011, the last electoral commission under my immediate predecessor stopped the cycle of doing voter registration with every general election by introducing the biometric voter register, complete with 10 fingers for the first time in the history of our country. In 2014, in preparation for the 2015 general elections, the register was updated. And what we are doing basically is to update the voter register, the core of which is in the 2011 registration exercise. The law says that citizens must be registered as they come of age, seamlessly, all year round. So we were so determined to ensure that citizens are given the opportunity to register. On the 27th of April 2017, we started the continuous voter registration on a truly continuous basis. I have said this before, but I want to say this again, because I know as members of civil society organizations, you will carry the message. When we embarked on the continuous voter registration, were we under any illusion that it was going to be easy sailing? No. Was it going to be problematic in some area, in some instances? Yes. Was it the right decision to take? Absolutely. So what were the challenges we faced, and how have we overcome those challenges? We had a strategy session on how to start the CVR. And our first preference was for the CVR to take place at the polling unit level. Reason, the polling units are the closest to where citizens live. So it's easier to do the registration at that level. How many polling units do we have in Nigeria today? 119,973. Roughly 120,000 polling units. The law says that we should replace defaced cards, damaged, lost cards, in addition to registration of those who turned 18 and citizens who did not have the opportunity to register previously. We should also provide citizens an opportunity for transfer and relocation, interstate and intrastate. So we reckoned that we will require 5 officials at every registration point. If there are 5 in 120,000 polling units, that will come to 620,000 ad hoc staff. The total staff strength of INEC is a little over 16,000. So even if the chairman and everybody is involved, including drivers, will not have enough staff to cover 2% of the polling units. We now have to engage citizens. If we are going to engage ad hoc staff, you have to pay them. We said if we are going to pay, even if it's 1,500 naira per day, 500 for transportation, 100 naira in honoraria to the 620,000, we will require 1.2 billion naira every day to pay ad hoc staff for voter registration at polling unit alone. But remember, we also need the DDC machines, the fingerprint scanners, the webcams, we need the printers, we also need security. We also need power generators because there are places that are not even connected to any form of grid, not even national. We need transportation to move particularly the equipment every day to the registration centers and back. When we calculated the total cost implication for the takeoff of the exercise alone, it came to 131 billion naira for takeoff. Clearly, we didn't have the money. What was the budgetary provision for INEC for voter registration in 2017? 1.2 billion naira. Barely enough to pay ad hoc staff for one day at polling unit level. So clearly the polling unit was not an option. But we said our responsibility is not to provide Nigerians excuses. Our responsibility is to see how we can solve problems for this country. So okay, let's consider Plan B. Plan B was to devolve the registration to ward level or the registration areas. How many wards do we have nationwide? 8,809. And if we are going to deploy on that basis, the number of 5 staff and provide transportation, provide honoraria, power and what have you, we reckon that for takeoff alone will require over 20 billion naira. Our budgeted provision was 1.2 billion for that year. It was clearly unaffordable. We said, what is the next option? The next option is to start the registration at local government level. How many local governments do we have? 774. And INEC has an office in each of the 774 local governments. And we have staff that are paid every month, whether they do registration or they don't. And we have functional power generators in each of the 774 local government areas. We have enough machines to go around. So okay, can we start at that level? That is how we initially took the decision to start the registration at local government level. And what is the cost? For the whole quarter, April, May, June 2017, the total cost was a little over 460 million. So it was affordable. Remember, I told you that we had 1.2 billion as budgetary provision for the exercise for the year. So we decided to deploy at that level. But once we deployed, we started receiving complaints from citizens. The local government headquarters are so removed, far removed from places where citizens reside, and therefore we should create additional centers. We had a mid-quarter review, we created additional centers. Again, in response to complaints by citizens, we created more centers. And then some advised that we should rotate, including civil society organizations, that we should rotate. So we evolved a system of rotation such that as of today, we have 1,446 registration centers nationwide. Are they adequate? No. Are there challenges? There are obviously challenges, because the DDC machine that we are using were machines acquired years ago. And what is the average lifespan of a DDC machine? Is 4 years for a single laptop machine, is 4 years for a single user computer. But for a multiple user computer, it's less. And these are computers that are used today by youth corpus, tomorrow by some kind of ad hoc staff who also use the same machines for training. But we said, irrespective of the challenges, we can't just fold up our arms and say we don't have the resources to deploy the way we would like to deploy to serve citizens most conveniently. But what is the result of that doggedness? The result of what we have done as at the 25th of May is that we have registered 9,089,465 Nigerians. 9,089,465 Nigerians. We have received requests for transfer from 449,154 citizens, and we have also received requests for replacement of PVCs from 724,291 citizens. Don't worry, we'll make the information available to the TITMG. She will share with you before.